Okay, so welcome to Driveway Developments. Today we're going to be spending an hour with my car. It's a Peugeot 208 GTI. It's a 1.6 litre turbocharged engine and it makes 200 horsepower. This car is actually my daily driver. I drive it to work, and also as you are watching this video, I am going to be in Germany going around the Nürburgring in it, doing a top speed run on the Autobahn and also going around Nürburgring GP. So I'm actually on holiday while this video is released. So I thought it'd be fitting for me to introduce you properly to the car. You can have a look around, and then when you see my car in the footage and the videos come in, you're going to know what it's all about. So I'll point you out some of the differences between this 208 GTI and the standard GTIs. The GTI version has a redesigned grille. It has this sort of checkered flag sort of thing on the front. The Peugeot marketing people say it represents a checkered flag from when the car's winning races, but you know, in reality it's just a nice pattern. Also it has this red band down here and a slightly redesigned grille. The front bumper, bonnet and lights are exactly the same as a normal 208, although they are the top of the range ones with LED daytime running lights and also projector headlights. Coming around the side of this GTI, we have 17-inch wheels with Michelin Pilot Sport 3S tyres on it. It has the biggest front brake calipers in its class. Also different to the standard 208, it has this extra little lip here which just gives the car a slightly wider appearance. The car does actually have a wider track as well. I think it's about 40mm wider than your standard 208. And there are lots of different suspension and steering components to make the track wider. One of them being an extremely short power steering rack. Another difference you'll see down the side to a standard 208 is the side skirt. And then again, as we come up to the back, we have a wide arch, also 17-inch wheels, Michelin Pilot Sport tyre on the back. Also the rear of this 208, there are some differences to the standard 208, some more differences really than the rest of the car. We have a GTI badge here, we have a nice wing on the back. Also it has a different rear bumper, and this cutout on the bottom is different to your standard 208. And I believe the GTI is the only 208 where you can actually see the exhaust, so it has a nice exhaust cutout there too. On my particular car we have the facelifted rear brake lights, and as all the GTIs do, we have a GTI badge there. Apparently that's supposed to be very similar to the 205 GTIs. And should we come to the engine bay of this Peugeot? It's totally standard, this car. It's absolutely bog standard. As you can see here, we have a Borg-Warner twin scroll turbo. So that's a good brand, and twin scroll. The only other car I know to have a twin scroll is the Evo 10. So basically it is a baby Evo. I'm only joking, it's not. So twin scroll turbo, Borg-Warner turbo. Also it's got variable valve timing, front and rear, 16 valves. All the good stuff. It's actually a BMW designed engine. It's the engine out of the Mini Cooper, the R56 series. So that's not to be confused with the earlier engine the R53 Minis had. They were notoriously unreliable. This is the redesigned version. And further to that Mini's redesign, this has got some Peugeot specific differences. So the main differences are the compression ratio is a whole point higher. So it's 11.5 to 1, I believe, on these engines. And that basically results in less lag, more efficient engine. I've known these engines to make up to 360 horsepower on standard internals. It's absolutely mint, like there's no damage at all. There's hardly even any stone chips. I've never had the car in this good condition. One of my favourite features is this roof. It's got lovely lines in it that come right down to the spoiler. So yeah, I think it looks great. So the interiors of these 208 GTIs is quite highly regarded. As you can see here, we have the leather seats with GTI embossed in them there and red stitching. And yeah, they do definitely give quite a high quality feel to them. So I'll jump in and we can take a better look. Okay, so here I am sat in this 208, and here we have the steering wheel. It's a really nice steering wheel. quite a short stubby steering wheel with a red stripe at the top and a GTI badge down the bottom. It's got nice controls on here, so you don't really have to take your hands off the wheel when you are driving the car. We've got lots of options as standard, such as cruise control, auto wipers, auto lights, auto climate control, air conditioning, and all the goodies. So looking at the dash, we have a leather dash with red stitching, and that continues right up until the corners. And then on the door as well, more leather with red stitching and this nice faded colour looking piece of trim there too. So we have a metal shifter. I personally think that this shifter is absolute perfection. I've never really had a shifter that's felt as nice as that, in my opinion. And I'm not a fanboy. I will come to the faults of this car soon. Yeah, I do really think that's good. Some people put short shifters on, but I honestly don't feel the need, because any shorter than that, it starts to get quite notchy and it's hard to place the gears. Another thing that I've never really appreciated about this car until my friends recently fit a heel and toe pedal in this car was, from the factory, you can actually heel and toe these cars. So that's quite good. On some cars you have to actually modify the pedal box in order to be able to do that, so there's no worries there. If you are into your track days, you can do heel and toe. So now I'll put the key in, I'll start the car, and I'll show you the dash sequence. I do think that this car has quite a nice start sequence to it. Okay, so we have two screens. First I'll put the key onto ignition. And now I'll start it up. So here we have a touchscreen. We can go through all our bits and bobs, really, have a look at all the things. There's one thing worth noticing. The MPG on this car, 40.9, that's through driving mostly through towns, and the same on number 2. When I did buy this car, the MPG was up near 50 odd, but it goes to show really how I do drive this car to be averaging 34 over 1600 miles. And yeah, just have our range. And there's various settings here you can go into, changing your radio and all the other settings. But yeah, there's not really much else to say. Quite a nice, pleasant place to be. So let's take you for a spin. Okay, so here we are, setting off in my Peugeot 208 GTI. You might have seen Abby in previous videos with my 106, maybe in reflections or looking worried when I'm driving fast and things like that. But here's Abby next to me, she's my wife, and yeah, she's going to be joining us for this video. So I'm basically going to just take my car out and I'm going to have an unbiased review. So Abby, what would you say are your 3 favourite things about this car then?
I like the inside.
Yeah?
I think it's quite snazzy.
It is snazzy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's snazzy too.
I like the front, and I like the lights on the front.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I don't know, there's nothing I don't really like about it.
You actually want a 208, don't you?
Yeah.
So what do I think about this car? Well, from the day I bought it, I was never blown away by the performance of this car. And I'm not saying that like this is a slow car, because it's not. It is 200 brake horsepower, but I have had cars that are faster than that. Recent you might have seen is the 106 GTI. That felt really fast, and in comparison this doesn't feel, it's fast but it's not exciting, I wouldn't say. See what it performs like. So like I said, it's not a slow car, it's just Yeah, it is quick, and it is fun when you're driving it like a bit of a div, let's be honest. But just driving it around is very soft, and I suppose I can see where Peugeot were going with this car. They wanted it to be sort of a car that can do everything. You know, it's extremely comfortable to drive. It's as comfortable as a normal car that isn't a hot hatch variant. But then, like I said, it's got the turbocharged engine and the power. So just to summarise, there's no turbo lag at all. That's a fact. I don't care what you say, there's no turbo lag. It feels like a naturally aspirated engine with a little bit more torque. The handling's quite a safe setup, and also the brakes very good. Handling's pretty good, although as I said, it's more of a tendency to understeer, and I have tried to get the back end out, but I just can't do it. You hate it, don't you? So thank you for watching this video. Thank you, Abby, as well, for not screaming. I know that you are easily scared when it comes to cars, and hopefully I've given you a little insight into what these 208 GTIs are like to own. The reason I say I'm being unbiased is because I actually am considering selling this car, because it just doesn't excite me, and for the amount of money I spent on it, I feel like I should be excited when I drive it. That's not to say it's a bad car, but now one car that was exciting, even bog standard when the day I bought it, was the 106 GTI, and that's probably one of the slowest, worst handling cars I've also owned as well. So how fast the car is, on how well it corners, and how fun it is, I don't think they're mutually like linked. I think that you can have a car that's fast and not fun, and a car that's fun and not fast. So I've wanted an Evo 10 as well for best part of 3 or 4 years now, and I just can't stop sort of always going and looking at them on the internet, and yeah, I don't know, I'll probably be disappointed if I ever get one.
I think you should keep this one.
You think I should keep it?
Yeah.
I know. Lots of people say this car's good, and I agree with them. But like, also an Evo 10 though, do you know what I mean? You can't argue with an Evo 10. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.